It's the Corrado Lark, Corrado Lark, Corrado Lark Knitcast podcast channel. Yeah. Oh, hello, and welcome back to the Corrado Lark Knitcast podcast. I am Corrado Lark. You can find me as Corrado Lark on Instagram, and Corrado Lark Knits on Ravelry, and Corrado Lark Designs on Ravelry as well. This is my third podcast, little short video that I have filmed for you in a row. So if you are wondering why I'm wearing this green t-shirt every day of my life, I'm not, just today. So I am going to be bringing you another, well, it's a hoe, a half-finished object. HUFO? Half-finished object? Hoe? I prefer hoe, so I am bringing you a hoe. And here it is. Well, first I'll show you the pattern. I've talked a little bit about it on the podcast and on my, it's a little blown out here, huh? There you go, that's a little better. It is the SANKOW'S Beaver Brook Farm, the hiking socks. This is my first pair of socks that is almost complete. And here is my hoe. Look at this sock, y'all. It's incredible. It was my first sock, so I'm not gonna say that it's perfect, but I'm not gonna lie, it fits my foot pretty dang great. So, I start off, it's a 2x2 rib. You have that little bit of striping that's blowing out. This yarn, it smells like it's straight off the farm, and I kind of love that about it. I am gonna block these once they're done as a pair, and I hope I don't lose too much of that scent. I probably won't. So I knit to about where I have my little stitch marker and my 2x2 rib, and then I started doing my first heel. It was fascinating. I didn't know the first thing about how to make a heel, and to watch it grow, it is like magic. I've watched the Sockmatician talk about that, how like this is one of the most magical things in knitting right here, is like how this bends, and it really is. I found it pretty simple. I think it's a French heel. It doesn't say what kind of heel it is in the pattern, but as of right now, it's the only heel I know how to do. It went pretty well until I got to this decrease part here, because in the pattern, there is something that is not written correctly, I think. I'm very good at math, so when I see something incorrect in a pattern, I usually can pick up on it. I didn't pick up on it until I had already worked on it. But the pattern calls for a slip, slip, slip knit in one of the decrease rows. I had never seen that in a pattern. I don't know if that's a thing that actually exists, but it created a little bump, for lack of a better word, here in the sock. I don't mind. I think it's still pretty phenomenal. So, and it fits still, so that's fine. I struggle at picking up. So here's where you have to pick up the heel. And it doesn't look too bad because I went back in with like a long end. It was like, long. And I went in and I weaved it in to reinforce that section. And I knit this on 6s. For the most part. I magic loop 6s. The pattern itself calls for DPNs, but I'm not very good with DPNs, so I decided I'm going to do it in magic loop. It required a little bit of math to figure it out, because a lot of times the pattern said, hey, slip, a few stitches from needle 1 to needle 2, etc. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. But what I did do is once I got to about here, you can see where I have my stitch marker-ish, there. Once I got to about there, I realized it was a little narrow, and my feet, I have 11.5 size feet, they get pretty wide, so really it's an 11E if I'm getting fit for like cop shoes or anything like that. I would say 11E because they usually have that in storage for when you're working on films and TV. Anyway. So I switched up to a size 7 to just give me a little more width here. And then I decreased and I did my first Kitchener there. It came out pretty good. I have a little bit of a bump, which, I mean, it's to be expected when you do a Kitchener for the first time. It is not that easy. it's easy enough. Like, if you haven't done it, you can do it. But, you know, that said, I went a little wider, and I'm really grateful for it because my foot fits pretty perfect in this sock. I loved working on it. I love working on this yarn. I mean, it's not soft. Sorry about it. That's really what it should be called. Not soft, sorry about it. But for a sock, it's incredible, and it's sturdy, clearly. The marled twist on it, it's you know, it's a beautiful sock, I think. And I have a hoe. Well, I already said I have a hoe. I have another half of the other half a hoe. That's a lot of halves. But here we are. I've already turned my heel, and you can see where my picking up is not ideal. Kinda. Maybe you can't see it. Maybe it's better than I think. But it is pretty, it's pretty fun to do. I've been doing this on the train for the most part. It's been my train knitting, because all I need are, you know, these two beautiful, beautiful. I can't get enough of the smell. Anytime you take this sock, this yarn out, and you just immediately get hit with the beautiful smell of it. And I have so much more of this yarn, so I can't wait to do it again. But this is going to be done hopefully in time for Vogue Knitting Live this weekend, so I can wear them and be really warm. So here we are. These will be done soon, and I will post another short video just to show you what they look like done, and then I'll model them on my feet. So, thanks for tuning into the Corrado Lark Knitcast podcast channel. You can subscribe, you can like, you can follow, you can do whatever you like. Feel like emailing me, send me a little shout out. That was really weird of me, but I said it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I will see you on the next little episode of the Corrado Lark Knitcast podcast. Chatter! Bye. Freeze frame now.